Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Tarot Spills the Tea. All right, and today Tarot is spilling the tea with a tarot reading by me, Indigo Sage Tarot. Just asking the question, why would a narcissistic cartoon villain decide to email baseless cease and desist letters? All about the cease, all about the desist. All right, and as usual, I must let you know exactly who I am. I am Indigo Sage, an awakened soul. I do have a spiritually based website at www.unapologeticallysage.com. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook under unapologeticallysage.com. All right, now let's go ahead and sage this out. Okay, and let me say this as well. There's been a couple of things that has happened recently, like two special guests that appeared on Nosy Ho Live that I want to dive into, and that I know that Princess right now just went live and everything. So, you know, I am going to be diving into all of that. So just stay tuned. Like, the best thing I can tell you guys, if you want the tarot spills the tea on these things, which dives in and lets us sage it out, and it dives into people's true intentions, things that are not said, things that we're not, the feelings and emotional and energy that we're not privy to, you're gonna probably have to most likely subscribe and click that notification button, because it's coming. Trust and believe. All right. So back to what we are talking about. Why would a narcissistic cartoon villain send baseless cease and desist? So the first thing that I wanted to do was break down what a cease and desist is. Okay. And before I do that, let me tell you this. If you could guide your beautiful eyes to the bottom of your screen, no matter what screen you're looking at, it could be your big, gigantic smart screen TV, or it can be your iPad, PC, laptop, Android, or what's the other one? iPhone. It could be any of those. But to the bottom of your screen, you should see a red bar. That red bar says, for entertainment purposes only, and every single word is alleged and not to be used as facts. All right? All right. Now, what I did, oh, and also let me say, I'm not a lawyer, an attorney, a court judge, or anything. My experience with all of that is none of your business, but I do have plenty of it. But, this information can be simply Googled, and you can see the codes of each state, as it regards to cease and desist, because each states are individual, but they're mostly the same on cease and desist. Now, cease and desist order, what it is someone telling you stop and don't do this anymore, or else. Okay? That's basically what it is in layman's terms. It is a request letter that explains why the person is so pressed, as Cardi B can say. It may include a threat to take legal action, as this is not, get it? This is not. Oh, I feel like I spit all on my mic. Did I spit on the mic? As this is not a legal order. In most cases, a cease and desist letter is not required to file in court to make a legal order. You understand what I'm saying? So for an example, I'm just going to give you guys an example of Oprah. I cannot even remember what the National Enquirer had said. I almost want to say it was a time when they had said that her and Gail was bumping bunnies together. And she just straight up sued him and won, of course. And that was to set a precedence, an example of, you can't be doing this to me. And Jennifer Aniston did the same thing as well. Do you believe that Oprah sent them a cease and desist? No, she did not. She didn't have to. When you're on, and I'm gonna call that social media because it's print social media. Well, no, it wouldn't be media, right? Well, anyway, let me stay focused. Okay, so the point is that she didn't send them a cease and desist letter. She just sued them because you can. If it's detrimental and you have proof that it's not true, because you got to prove that it's not true and that it is detrimental and all this kind of stuff. But if you can do that, which Oprah could because they're not, you just go straight to court and you don't play around with emails and this, that, and the other. So, but you can if you want to, or if you are full of it, that's the route you would take. So I have kindly given you guys little pictures and everything that I thought was so cute. Um, so this narcissistic cartoon villain, sees herself as a queen slash stepmother. All right, offering an apple. So it's as if she was offering an apple to Snow White. Snow White takes it. It's up to her whether she bites. You understand what I'm saying? It's up to her whether she bites. Point blank, period. Now, whether she bites or not, this person, the queen, if she feels like she actually has a case, the next step is to file for legal court order. She has to file. If she were to actually file, she would the defendants would receive notification of the filing. Okay? Legally, you cannot blindside anyone when you are trying to take legal action. So they would receive official notice of the filing on a cease and desist. All right? You cannot secretly take anybody to court to legally implement an order. You can't, that won't be a secret in any state. Okay? No state will allow that to be a secret. Now, here's the thing: whether or not somebody, they can lie and say that they served you and you weren't served, But knock on wood. Well, like I said before, I'm surrounded by glass. My desk and everything around me is glass, but probably because I like clarity and I see through things. Okay, hello. Anyway, then so after the cartoon character files, she would have to find a judge who's willing to transform into a cartoon character to hear the case. Boom, boom. Anyway, but the point is that, to my understanding, they've been served by her with an uncertified letter, which through email, which is actually okay because what that is just it's just a request letter. No matter what those words actually said, whether it sound threatening, whether it sound like this, that, or the other, it is simply just requesting stop and don't do this anymore, or else I'll be forced to reveal my true identity and go to court. And all of this again is alleged and not to be used as facts. Continuing on. So the summary for where we are right now with this is the previous panel went from anxiety and confusion from receiving that to, and understand this, I don't have a list of everyone who received it, but I know that some of them did because they spoke about it. All right. And you would assume that she would do this for each and every one of them. But who knows? Okay, only they know. All right. But I'm telling you that when they received it, the ones who did, they had a little anxiety and confusion as to, WTF. But once they, looked into it, I'm telling you right now, currently, They are sitting on hashtag unbothered. Okay. They're unbothered, but aware. And when I say aware, aware of the words they use and choose and exactly what they're saying. They're just more aware. Because the fact is, you can legally tell your experience. Okay? No one can stop you from telling your truth about your experience in something. With one exception, if you signed a non-disclosure um, non-disclosure uh, thing. All right. And when you sign those, both your top, as I always say, your top and your bottom lip need to meet and stay there. Okay. Um, I've had to sign a few before, and with the partner that I work with, and not on this, nothing on this, you guys. Something totally different. Ain't got nothing to do with none of this. But when I was given it, the first time, I hadn't heard of non-disclosure. Um, oh gosh, it has three initials. It's three words. But anyway, I hadn't heard of that before. And I'm gonna be honest, when I was sent that, and this was a big company. It's not a person. When I was sent that, I was like kind of scared because I was like, oh my god, what information am I gonna get on this? What information y'all about to give me? Which of course I would keep it, but it just made me nervous just having to sign it. But I was like, I'll sign it because it's a good company. As a matter of fact, it's a company. With you being on the internet, you guys are using it right now, I'm sure. But I was just like, whoa, this is some serious stuff. What they about to tell me? But they're just protecting. You know what? I didn't have no big secret. I wasn't no big. It wasn't no big secrets. Okay. All it wasn't no big secrets. What it is that non-disclosure is just them protecting themselves. And excuse me for coughing. The coughing is my allergies. But guess what? Right before I started, I took 2 Claritins. Pop, pop, 2 Claritins. So hopefully that will make me cough less. I don't know, but well, it does when they kick in. But I might be done before they kick in because I'm not gonna hold you long. I know I might sound like a passed out at 3 o'clock service. I'm not gonna hold you long. Then y'all get out there close to midnight, but I'm really not. So anyway, so yes, they went from anxiety and confusion to unbothered, but more aware. And aware means aware of how they address her. Because I know Auntie M went from saying avatar, she didn't even want to say avatar, honey. She started saying cartoon character. Um, some of them were more aware so far as threatening, that they would pull up on Avatar, find out and pull up. I'm not gonna name which one that was. But they like in a live right now. Oh no, you know what? That wasn't even about that. That was about making that possible documentary. But anyway, the awareness has become heightened, and each of them, they're on different levels of awareness on what they'll say and how they'll say it. But ultimately, they're unbothered because they know that that's just a request letter. On the other hand, Avatar, cartoon character Monica from All About the Tea, however you want to call her, she is somewhere watching everything. Everything. Through the lens of fear and anxiety. Okay? We're going to dig into this read, but just understand what this red bar says at the bottom. For entertainment purposes only, and every single word is alleged and not to be used as facts. Now let's bust this case wide open of why in the hell you was seeing some baseless cease and desist. Let's get into it. Like I always say when I start out, there's 5 positions, and the first one is past. The way this past card relates to the situation is it addresses whatever happened in the past that is affecting that situation in the present situation, the present card, present position. All right. And then when we go to the present position, that is present as in the question that I asked. That question is why did Avatar send baseless cease and desist orders? The reason why I say baseless is because in it, I heard several of them say that they're the reason why they are purposefully out to, um, like, diminish her business. What do you call them? Unsubscribe. Yeah, I was looking for that word the whole time. Accusing them of making people unsubscribe. So that's why it's baseless. Okay. The past card is Wheel of... Oh, and you guys, oh my goodness. Listen. All of these main cards, the first cards, is what I call the main cards. All of them were upright. What? I have never done no reading involving her specifically, like getting her energy, where they all were upright. Ninja, what? Okay. You know what that means? She had a clear mind on this. So, well, on these cards being upright. And of course, I had to clarify. And I didn't use my deck this time. Get into it. So, but they were all upright. I was so surprised because I've done a reading involving her specifically 3 times already, and there's always some reversals. The majority of it is reversals all the time with her because she just doesn't think straight. Honey, she thought straight on this shit. She thought straight on this shit. They were all upright. Oh my God. I said, oh girl, what? Okay, past. A life event occurred in the past that has set you on a new path. She no longer trusts her own intuition because she couldn't see this coming at all. And I told you guys that in a previous, I don't know which one it was, but that she doesn't trust her intuition because she didn't see it coming. But this Wheel of Fortune, like I like to call it Wheel of Karma. A lot of places call it Wheel of Karma. A life event occurred in the past that has set you on a new path. We already know what that is. So real quick, the main cards are from the deck The Wild Unknown. The clarifiers are from the deck Afterthoughts. Okay. So the clarifier for the Wheel of Fortune is the reverse 3 of Swords. Exhibit A. 3 of Swords can represent mother-child relationships, so we know she always talk about it being a family. Okay. Exhibit B. Having anxiety or panic attacks. This lady, when her quote unquote family started coming out and talking and telling their own stories and experiences with her, she started having anxiety and panic attacks. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. Spirit said it. I believe it. Exhibit C. A broken heart, trust that doesn't fully recover. So this is the past. Let's keep going. So present is represented by the Temperance card. Temperance, excuse me. Temperance. It's an attempt at controlling her life by exercising moderation, balance, and restraint. In general, those are good things. However, as they relate to my question, her sending out the baseless cease and desist, it's not a good thing. But what really popped out to me was controlling. This woman, this lady, this avatar, this cartoon, brains, beans, rice, potatoes. Okay, this lady, in whatever facet, whoever she thinks she is right now, whatever she wants to be called, she has a fixation on control and balance. And I spoke to balance before in previous ones when I went in on her. Moderation by sending this letter, on the formal panel, by sending the letter. That was her still trying to moderate, girl. Okay. Balance, because the negative testimonies have grown expeditiously. This is a person who's used to being talked about in good light and bad light, and it used to be even. Okay, before she started clickbaiting, the good was growing and probably inched up a little few percentages, and especially when she got the panel. Okay, before she started the clickbait, the good was soaring. It was going higher and higher, which is good. You know what I'm saying? What she can't take is negative being more. She can't take the negative feeling. Anyway, I forget which time I addressed that, but it's in the previous one. But she needs balance. I totally get that from her. So that's a part of the reason why she sent that out, because it was just too much negativity, man. Restraint, adding pressure with a mommy dearest approach. For example, all right. So the present clarifier is, and remember, this is the after. The clarifiers are the after tarot cards that I have, honey, and I like to use those after an event has happened, okay? Because it shows after how people feel afterwards, after. Because it's the tower, but in the normal Rider Waite, that tower is still intact, baby. But this is the after. Look at this card. Y'all know I'm about imagery. Look at this card. Look at it. This is how she feels after the event occurred. That's why I have the after cards. Have you noticed I like saying after? Okay, anyway, but seriously, in the in the regular Rider Waite imagery, the tower is still intact. And then I have the before cards as well. In the before, people are walking up to it. But this is the after. This is how she feels. Look at that. That's how she feels. I didn't know it was going to be adding words. I said instrumental. I'm adjusting my music. Y'all be all right. I don't know words. I speaks the words. Anyway, so this is after, and this is how she feels. And it kind of did. Like, if you look at the card, yeah, it kind of did do that. Yeah, it kind of did do that. And it makes sense, her having that temperance, and then this being the clarifier, because this is why she's trying to balance this out. This is what she's trying to balance and moderate and control, like, because she feels like this happened, and it did. Got me over here stuttering, and it did. All right. So, Avatar had a tower moment as she exhibited a similar meltdown shown in the classic movie Mommy Dearest, which focuses on the relationship between a narcissistic mother and her children. So, the examples I have for you now, first of all, if there's anyone listening, any sagey listening that has not seen, and bless your heart if you have not heard of the classic movie Mommy Dearest, um, it's a good movie that shows a very good picture of a narcissistic mother and her children, the relationship between them. I suggest you check it out if you have not. And maybe you watch the clip if you ain't got time. If you feel like you ain't got time, there's a clip that I want you to watch as it pertains to what I'm saying right now. And I'll get to that in just a moment. So with Monica, the avatar, saying, "I'm shaking right now," while and I'm referring to when players came on and they were going back and forth, when, y'all already know, "I'm shaking right now." And then she went to yelling, "Let me talk, let me talk, let me talk." She said it, and I'm guessing this is approximately 7 times. So the first 3 times, Plez said, okay, okay, okay. And then Ples got it. And she was just quiet. And Monica kept yelling. And I'm saying approximate because I didn't count it down, like 4 more times. Let me talk, let me talk, let me talk, let me talk. Those last times, whether it was 4 or 3 that she yelled, no one said a word. There wasn't a peep out of anyone. What we witnessed was a meltdown. Meltdown. It was a meltdown. She already warned she was shaking. Okay. Somebody's shaking. That ain't no good thing. I used to work anyway. Nope, I'm gonna stay. But I'm gonna say this real quick. I used to work for a clinic that rehabilitated um, people who had brain injuries, and injured at different parts of their brain. And we were trained and all that kind of stuff before we went in. And one of the signs is them shaking right now. It's not. I'm not. When they get to shaking, they all didn't shake. Different parts of your brain will affect you in different ways, and there's different triggers depending on which part of the brain is affected. Okay, so listen to me. There's very much different facets and layers to me. I have knowledge in all kind of areas, but and they come out when they come out. But I know a little bit about the brain and when they're affected, when there's an injury to different parts of the brain. But one of them, depending on that part of the brain that may be injured or tapped into, you start to shake. And usually, well, these patients that we looked after, they balled up their fist and shook. Okay. And I am not saying that people who shake when they're angry, have any kind of brain injury. That's not what I'm saying. It's just what I am saying directly is that when she said I am shaking right now, it threw me back. And that time with my patients and stuff, you watch them shake. Oh, are you shaking? Okay, got you. It's about to be on. Like, because they're gonna have a meltdown, breakdown, outrage, rage of anger. You don't know, but they shaking right now. That shaking is a precursor. It's a pre-warning, to something bigger is about to happen. Period. Don't nobody shake and then calm all the way down. Never seen it. I never seen it. I ain't never seen somebody shake and then calm all the way down unless you dancing, doing the Harlem shake. Okay. If you're not dancing and you're not jovial, it's about to go down. So I was already on alert when she said, I am shaking right now. I'm like, oh shit. That's the alert. That's the alert. Okay. So anyway, she's shaking right now. It was so bad she had to announce it. And that's the workup. Let me talk. She started yelling, screaming it, even when no one was saying a damn word. And no, and even when I said, Ples said, okay, all she said was okay. But see, she wanted silence. She wanted total silence and control. She was losing control, and it made her go a little, berserk. Like, a robot, you pour water on it, and they just, or your computer, like, blow up, sparks come out, smoke. You know what we see on TV? That can be compared to No More Wire Hangers scene in Mommy Dearest. Here we are at the best of it. So the best as the avatar sees the situation pertaining to the reason why she decided to send baseless cease and desist request, and this is all alleged, not to be used as facts. The Five of Wands shows up, and I am so not surprised. I just shook my head on this very slowly. Fives represent conflict. Okay, so the best is that they be in conflict with each other, remain in conflict with each other. Okay. Let me read what I wrote, because I'll go off. Conflict with each other, not speaking their truth so that no one finds out that she talked about them behind each other's back, or paid them more or less, or any lies she fed to one about the other in order to keep them in conflict so they won't find out about her smear campaign launched. One thing about narcissists, you guys, and I write about it on my website, Unapologetically Sage. The tab is called Narc in My Arse. But one thing about narcissists, they do smear campaigns behind your back if you are the target. And you'll never know. The only way you'll know is because people will begin to treat you differently, and you won't know why. You won't know what's going on. You won't know why. But you'll know something funny, you know? And one thing that they have to do as a narcissist, they have to and here's the thing. Narcissists do stupid stuff, but they're very smart, because these people have to juggle all of this. They have to be able to smear, there's no telling how many of these members of the panelists that she smeared. Because I'm not going to say she smeared them all. I don't know who all she smeared. But even besides smearing, she told different individuals different things to keep them all in conflict with each other. When you are in conflict, you're not getting ready to call somebody up and talk to them at all. Understand? You get what I'm saying, right? Because you guys are my sages. So I know you're smart and you get it. So I'm going to move on to the clarifier of this. So this is a cold piece of work, but a piece of work that we can see through nonetheless. The best clarifier is clarified by the Seven of Coins, the Seven of Pentacles, okay? Money driven, first of all. Pentacles is your coin. Money driven. And that's no surprise. That's no surprise to us. See, I be going off before I even read what I be trying to give you guys. I type up a generalized meaning, and then I tell myself, read this first, and then go off into what spirit told you and what you know. But sometimes I see the picture and I just get triggered. I'm just like, this is what it is. Okay. Let me pull back. The best clarifier, let me read this first. The best clarifier is the Seven of Pentacles, okay? This card represents someone working hard towards a goal. They are anticipating the award in the end. This is about having persistence and faith in yourself that the goal can be achieved. Her goal is to stop them from talking so they won't stop her bag. Stop them from talking so that they won't stop her bag. The end result is always about having abundance. So when the Seven of Pentacles appears, this is a card that says you're working hard for abundance. 90% of the time, the abundance is monetary or, financially intentions. There's other times, where the abundance Could be about something else in abundance, love in abundance. Okay. It could be about other things. However, this one, it's about the pentacles. It's about the bag. All right. She wants them to Hirsch, because that's too much. She wants them to Hirsch, because it's too much. Because it's stopping her bag. Okay. Continuing. This one was effed up to me. I was like, girl, you are the worst. The worst as she sees it is for them to come together. Okay. Let me take a deep breath because I was like, girl, you are so effed up. The best is for them to be in conflict. The worst is for them to come together. If you don't get your cartoon having ass. Oh, I was so irritated by this. All right, let me read it. Worst. The worst. Okay. 10 equals completion and successfully overcoming past challenges. That's the worst for her. Okay? In her mind, her opinion, her feelings, that would be the worst for this panel to be in completion. To be in completion, first of all, is like you healed from it. Okay? You healed from this. This was a tragedy. Okay, woo. Hold on. Let me read what I wrote and then go into it. 10 equals completion and successfully overcoming past challenges. Coming out on top. Getting along with each other very well. Having the same quote unquote enemy has the power to bring people together. Her worst fear would be for all panel members to come together and continue the panel without her, which is possible. It'd be upbeat, fun, and balanced, and her worst nightmare. I'm telling you that. This is what she's fearing. As long as it's not formed with spiteful intentions, it has all the power to draw the same success as the panel had before, but this time minus the backbiting narcissist, quote unquote, leader. The sky is the limit. Do you understand? And I hope there are some of the previous panelists that are listening to this. Do you understand that the purpose of this letter, because this is her energy on her sending out that letter, is to keep you guys separate and not to talk? And I know that it didn't succeed. I know that. I still want to dive into it and show everyone how energy works in certain people and what their intentions are. And for some of you, this is totally and completely validation from what you already felt. Okay? Make no mistake about it. She understands that if you guys complete this cycle and successfully overcome this challenge, and this is a challenge that she created, make no mistake about that. If you guys open up your mouth and talk about your experience, first of all, you're going to see, it's going to fill in the blanks, and you're going to hear some things that are familiar. Like, well, she said that about you. She said that about me. What? You know, everything is going to, the puzzles, are the pieces are going to come together. She doesn't want that because then you guys will see her hand and all of it and how she played her hand and played each of you to a certain degree. Each of you were played to a certain degree. Some more than others, some less than others, some in different ways. Some in similar ways, some in different ways, but played nonetheless. Let's continue. So she doesn't want, the worst is you guys coming together, like talking about it and coming together. Okay? But then you got to ask yourself now, And actually, Spirit just told me both. But the question was, is it worse her being exposed for her horrible behavior? Is that what's worse? Because these are combined, what I'm getting ready to say. It's either, is it being worse being exposed for your horrible behavior, or is it worse you guys coming together and being a super panel? Okay, put a cape on it. Put a cape on the panel. Which one is worse? Being a super panel who may potentially, or her being exposed? Let me continue. The clarifier is the fool in reverse. Not being a fool no more. Okay. Point blank, period. All right, now let me read. She want them to hang on that cliff. I should have did some. I'm trying to make mine a little bit shorter, trying to control time. I should have did this upright, but you guys can look at it and see. He's hanging off the cliff. She wants them to hang off the cliff. Reverse is they're not hanging off the cliff like a fool about to fall. You understand what I'm saying? This card upright is the fool's image hanging off the cliff about to fall to his death. Her worst is the opposite of that. Get it? Get it. Worst clarifier. Removing the blindfold she gave to them to wear. And again, I want to say that, then I said it the way I said it. Because, yes, she handed them a blindfold. Now, truthfully, it was up to them to put it on. Get into it. Now, no longer being naive towards her antics. This is the clarifier for the worst in her mind. Like, the worst would be for them to no longer be naive to her antics and to remove that blindfold that she gave them to wear. Moving on. What's to come is the Fool card upright, because they all was upright. Okay, these original cards. Clarifiers up, left, down, right, bottom, reverse. Those are the clarifiers. Clarifiers did a little dance, but the initial cards, they were all upright. This woman, this avatar, was very sure of this decision to send out these baseless cease and desist, allegedly. Allegedly. What's to come? The Fool, upright. Her energy is wanting to end something in her old life. This is what she hopes for. All of this drama. See, why they had me hear that? It sounded like it was in her words. All of this drama. She wants to end it, dead it. And the way the Fool comes in is when you forget about that. And this is not literally calling someone a fool. She doesn't want to be a fool. Trust me. That's not what she wants. But as a fool comes in, when you forget about your past, first of all, honey, the quote that comes to my mind is, if you don't know the past, you're deemed to repeat it. Get into it. But this silly rabbit wants to forget about the past. She not only wants to end it, she wants to forget about it and like act like it. Okay, so when I say forget, act like it never happened. Narcissists are good for that. Act like it never happened. They will slap you down, beat you up one night, the very next morning, fix you coffee and some eggs and bacon, and pretend like it never happened last night. That's the type of attitude that they harbor and exude. Get into it. They exude it. So this is what's to come. This is what she hopes for. To do that, pretend like this never happened and start anew. The reason why the Fool card came up on that is because you'd have to be a fool. You'd have to be a fool to pretend that this life lesson didn't happen. the clarifier. Okay. Three of Cups. That's a celebration card. What celebration? Celebrate good times. No, no. You got me effed up. Okay. This is a card of celebration as it pertains to this reading. Okay. Because it's not always celebration. Excuse me. Spirit's telling me to tell you guys the back the back end of this card. If it comes up in a relationship reading, a lot of times it could point to third party involvement. Third party involvement could mean someone's cheating on you. This is not a love read. This card means celebration. Look at them, they celebrating. Oh, and they holding each other. Because I told y'all this is a different deck. This is afterwards. And the other deck, ain't nobody touching nothing. That's interesting. Okay. Excuse me. And I took 2 Claritins, but right before I started talking, so they need to go ahead and kick in. What's the come clarifier? We're clarifying the Fool card. It's clarified by 3 of Cups upright. This is a card of celebration. It means you are surrounded by people who are valuable to you. It's important to her that the old quote-unquote panel doesn't tell their true experience. And I have a little star asterisk that says this is what she hopes for to come out of this, sending the baseless cease and desist. Because ultimately she understands the value of the panel, whether she tells them or not. She may never. She wants another one, whether she admits it or not. She may never. She recognizes if this quote-unquote old panel tells their experience, there may never be a new panel. Get what I'm saying? So that letter, which is ultimately a request letter, I don't know what she said in it, but she meant it as a threat letter, allegedly. But yes, indeed. Okay. Continuing. Okay, let me say first and foremost, there is a little more to the reading. So don't click off. I finally went into my analytics or whatever they're called. I think it's the analytics. And sometimes people tend to click off right when I get to this part. I'm assuming because they are assuming that it's over. It's not over. I just stuck this in the middle. Stuck it in the middle of the process. So I just want to say you've made it this far. Please click like and subscribe. Sagies. I appreciate you guys so much. And I want to thank you as well. That's it. And now we're going to the next card. This one was so simple. This is her energy snapshot. The energy, as I always say, that runs through all these cards. She wants loyalty from them. She wants loyalty from them. She expects it. You hear me? She expects it. It's no coincidence to me that this was the first card that showed up. Different deck, but with the schoolboy breakdown on why she left. You guys, if you've seen it, you remember. Fresh out of the gate was 2 of Cups. And I told you guys, with schoolboy is an emotional connection with her. It wasn't love. Because 90% of the time, the 2 of Cups show up in love, 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 this, love, that. But what it actually means, which is why I do a little bit of explaining and education behind the cards. I never come in just expecting people to just be on the level that the reader is on. The reader is me. Like, I've studied these cards and stuff. So I break it down just, a little bit, just enough so that we're all on the same page. I always say that. So the basis of this card, although it may come out most of the time, 90% of the time, for a lover's reading, and it means something lovers-ish, 90% of the time, there's that 10%. We are in the 10% pool. Okay? Which means deep connection. She wants loyalty from them. Got it? All right. This is the energy she was dealing with when she sent that letter out, that request letter. Here's where it gets good. Okay. So the clarifier for the energy snapshot. And like I said, most of you guys already know, but just for anyone new, the energy snapshot is a card of the energy that person embodied and how they felt while they were making these decisions and thinking these thoughts and taking those actions that they took. This is the energy that they embodied. Okay? This is the energy within them. This is how they feel. They're all how they feel, but this is their energy that influenced all of the previous cards that I just run over. Okay, so I clarified this. And the clarification is the 9 of Wands reversed. And it's so funny. There were a few reversals in the clarification. And I'm like, there y'all go. Because normally, like I said, she's reversed like a lot. But these were all upright because she was so sure in it. But her energy, like the clarification behind them, the majority of those were reversed. So, well, no, 50-50. Hold on, 50-50. 50-50. It was 50% were reversed. So, the energy snapshot clarifier is 9 of Wands reversed, clarifying that wanting loyalty, that's her energy. She expects loyalty, like the mafia mess. She expects loyalty. You know what I'm saying? And the clarifier behind that energy is reversed 9 of Wands. She's feeling alienated and she's placing the blame on the quote unquote old panel. Now, the reason why I'm quote unquoting old right before panel is because the previous card said that her hope is to release the old and start new again, as if that never happened. And that was the fool card for her, because you'd be a fool to not learn a lesson from that and then move forward. She doesn't want to learn a lesson. That's the fool part of it. She wants to pretend like it never happened. Okay? So there's a difference. There's a difference. It's not like, oh, she just doesn't want to mention the past anymore. It's not that. What it is you learn a lesson from your past, and that empowers you as you move forward. She's not on that level. She wants to do that Men in Black, zap, zap, act like it never happened. Pretend it never happened. She's so cocky, she doesn't feel like there's a lesson to be learned. Understand what I'm saying? There's a difference. There's a difference between that. Put it in the past and move forward. And so the next time somebody tells you that, you need to ask them, okay, so wait a minute. Meaning you learn a lesson and move forward as far as we're not going to do this anymore, or put it in the past and move forward as if it never happened. They're different. Get into it. So that's what she wants to do. Now, so I done read you. Ooh, I'm sounding old and country. And I'm not old or country, but check this out. What I wanted to do, because I thought this was so important and it made me laugh, I'm going to read you guys from the guide the After Tarot description of this card and get into it. Okay? Because this means a lot. This is clarifying her energy. Card description. A wounded warrior stands with his back against the wall of tall, bare branches. His head is bandaged, and he looks warily to one side. He may be expecting another attack, or he may simply be recovering from an earlier battle and standing guard in patient watchfulness. He is battle hardened, weary, and on edge. At the same time, however, he is determined, wise, and cagey, and has found a place where he can fall back, regroup his thoughts, regather his strength, and prepare for whatever may come. He's joined by a compatriot, another soldier. This man is also a little worse for wear. His injuries aren't as obvious. His gaze is fierce and his sleeves are bloodied. He's wearing a money belt around his waist. He might have a few coins or some tobacco to share. He's just as wary as the first man. Both are keeping a watchful eye on their surroundings, and both seem to be listening for the sound of interlopers in the distance. Now, that's the description. That is the description of this goddamn card. If that don't effing sound like Monica and Wiley, I don't know what does. Rewind it and listen to it, because I don't want my video to be long. If you want to get another gather, that sounds just like what the fuck they are doing. This is her energy. Her energy. The reason why I believe it's in reverse, because she don't have good intentions for Wiley. And I said this a while back too. I don't know if it was on a Wiley read or a Monica read, allegedly. But they both trying to do each other in. They both got secrets. They both faking each other in each other's face. Okay? They both feel like they're a star, and they both have secret ill intentions. Both of them. And that would be the only reason to watch them, to see who's going to do who in first, because they both are of the same. Just like these two MFing soldiers. Okay? But it's interesting that one coming up is the one that got the money belt. And I'm going to tell you something. That's because money's on his mind and his mind is on his money. But anyway, that would be another read. This ain't about that. But this is about why would the narcissistic cartoon villain would send out baseless cease and desist. And this is a behind the scenes of the energy that's being possessed by the person who sent the email saying, stop and don't do this anymore or else. It's a loyalty factor. And then everything else, because, I also said how she wants to try to gain other people in, but she can't if they telling the truth and all of that. And it's, if she's exposed, it's going to really damper. It's going to rain on her chances of getting another dynamic panel. I haven't been watching, but I certainly haven't heard of a dynamic panel. So I'm going to assume that that hasn't happened. Here's the reasons why. Well, I was going to say, here's the reasons why. These are not the reasons why, but this is what she's, this is her being the avatar. This is her energy. And she's right. If they do tell the truth, it is going to be hard for you. But what it goes back to is not their fault. What it goes back to is, how about you shouldn't have did that? And this is what I tell people when I write, because I'm gonna come out with a book, and I write on my blog, and anyone who has concerns, first of all, I'm not naming them, I'm not doxing them, but what I'm doing is talking about my experience. So if you are so bothered, then what you should do is not that anymore. Like if you've treated me bad in an obvious way. So just an example of, let's say for instance someone lied on me or stole from me, and I talk about my experience and how that unfolded, and then that person gets upset. My suggestion to them is, how about you not lie on me or steal from me? That would be the solution. And I don't budge or waver from it. You understand what I'm saying? Because that's the solution. So Monica feeling like she's alienated and it's all because of them, and she wants them to be quiet so that she can rebuild, and that's very important to her. Okay, honey, no. That's not the solution. To send them baseless threats and all this kind of stuff. Because first of all, she'd lose, because if they're telling, as long as they're telling the truth, let me add that. You got to tell the truth. It's got to be the truth. Can't lie on her or exaggerate. Don't even exaggerate. Okay? And in that case, you don't need receipts. I know that social media wants receipts. They want receipts. Fuck receipts. Let me tell you something about receipts. And this is coming from a person who have receipts for everything I say. Okay. But what I'm saying, that was just always me naturally. I always take pictures and put things in writing. That's just how I am, period. There's a little lawyer inside of me, but alongside of my nerdness. But my point is, when you're telling the truth, you actually don't need receipts. When you're telling the truth and stick only to the truth. Again, I'm not an attorney, so everything I say is alleged and not to be used as facts. Boom. Continuing on, which is what she's afraid of. There's a fear there. I told you guys in the very beginning, she's watching with fear and anxiety. Like, she's watching, but through fear. Because she's hoping that at some point they act like a fool. Fool as in not knowing their rights, not knowing that you don't even have to have receipts. As long as you're telling the truth, which includes no exaggeration, but I know everybody's caught up on receipts, but I just felt like I really had to say that. If a person just sticks to the truth, you don't have to have so-called receipts. You just have to tell the truth in the court of law. I'm not even just talking about in the eyes of God. I'm talking about in the court of law. Tell the truth. Okay? Anyway, I'm not even getting, because I was getting ready to say something else, and what their duty is, what the plaintiff duty is, and what the defendant's duty is. But this is not court. This is not. I'm not Judge Judy. So, moving right along. So, I do want to ask you guys to click like and subscribe and the bell, because I got something, juicy gonna come up right after this. So click that bell so that you guys are notified, all right? But you first have to you must click like, okay? You got to click like. All right, and then subscribe, and then click the bell to be notified, because this was already in the works as I seen other things unraveling within these last 2 days. And I was like, oh my goodness. And then I was like, let me hurry up and get this one out. But then I was like, I cannot rush the process. So anyway, now that I'm done and you're listening to these words, that means I'm done and I'm already off to the next. All right. So you got to click that bell in order to know the tea that Tarot's getting ready to spill next. Remember though, what I want you guys to remember in taking in all of this, the entire case of All About the Tea, allegedly, take all of this in and remember to enforce your boundaries before you forget where they are. Remember to enforce your boundaries before you forget where they are. Okay? And I only speak from experience. I want you guys to have a blessed, wonderful, fruitful week.